a good Saturday morning, May 28th, 2022, and we hope wherever you are, you're having a safe and enjoyable Memorial Day weekend to honor all those who fought and died for our country. To do so here with the NVA today, we will have event number 3 on tap, the first of 3 days live from San Bernardino, California, Pure Sports Center. I'm Ira Thor, joining us alongside Nick England and Matt Prosser as we take you through today's 4 matches as we start this weekend. Of course, because of the Memorial Day holiday, we will have a Saturday, Sunday, Monday schedule this week rather than the traditional Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll go down the line. We have a couple interesting matches on tap today. The 9 a.m. Pacific time match, well, that is the Utah Stingers taking on the Inland Empire Matadors. The Stingers 2-2 on the year out of the American Central. The Matadors, they coming in at 1-3. They held on for a 3-2 victory in a somebody's got to win match against the Untouchables to end our last event earlier this month. So Matt, we'll talk about this match. The Stingers, obviously a little surprising that they're 2-2, but that's also a byproduct of them missing pieces the last event.
Yeah, Ira, you're totally correct. I mean, the Stingers missing a few guys from that last event really put some holes in their offense and their system, but the Matadors doing a good job kind of getting better throughout the season so far. Again, home games for them here at the Pure Sports Complex, but I think the Stingers just have too many weapons. They've reloaded their team. Mencia's back. Russell Holmes is back, and I think that the Stingers will be a bit better today than they were in event number 2.
What's your take on the Matadors? Obviously, they went the distance with the Untouchables. You know, the Matadors obviously are still trying to figure out who's that guy going to be, but Eric Beatty came in the last event and certainly proved that he might be that option.
Yeah, certainly so, Ira. I think the Matadors have done a nice job sort of developing their character and their brand of volleyball throughout the season, and they continue to get better, along with the addition of James Vanderbeek as well.
Number 1 of the day, Utah Stingers, Inland Empire Matadors out here defending the home court. Matt, this is an exciting one. Definitely excited for this one.
Yeah, definitely a great way to start the weekend off. Event number 3 here in San Bernardino. Utah Stingers making the trip. You know, their squad is not 100% full as they are missing Inovo Romero, one of their better outside hitters. But, you know, they have Yaslana Akala, Russell Holmes, a couple other key players, Sean Dennis, and obviously Reed Shilton running the offense at the center position. Meanwhile, for the Matadors, trying to set the tone here, defending their home court like you talked about. A couple of new players on their squad as well. Eric Beatty played in event number 2, has become a very key role player for the Matadors, so expect to see big things from him today as well.
Yeah, that's a very pin-centric team for right now. We've seen them relying on kind of a revolving door of Jacob Vanderbeek, Jordan Wally, Nick Ramos, and now Eric Beatty getting added to that. So it's kind of, there's several guys that can play right side and outside. So it's who at what time can get it done for them. So in the middle, we'll also see Brett Massetti today. Not sure if Martin Patrice is around yet for this match, but he's been someone they've relied on a lot.
I think
Colby Elder.
Sorry to cut you off, Nick, but I think a key for the Matadors will be their setting,
Yeah,
right?
That's
passing and setting so that they can run their middle in the offense, because their middles have been a little bit absent throughout the season so far.
Yeah.
In terms of their offensive structure and system. But behind Eric Beatty and Jordan Wally on the pins, I think they'll be able to hang, but the Stingers might just have too many weapons for him today.
Yeah, we also see Storm not here noticeably either, so that's going to mean Yo Slater Kala as well as Cougar Clark, number 1, probably going to get the start on the outside as well, if I had to guess. So he's someone that's been a very big role player for them, sometimes a serving sub, sometimes steps in the outside role when there's some absences on the court or someone not playing up to par. But definitely doesn't really hurt the roster in any way, a little bit smaller, but I would say that's probably the only real disadvantage there. So look for Clark to make an impact. But like you said, in the middle, having Sean Dennis and Russ Holmes, they've been a dynamic duo that's doing quite a bit of damage this season. So excited to see what they can do. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest noticeable mismatches here in this match.
Definitely. And we do know after seeing the Stingers play in event number 1 how much they want to run the quick offense through the middle of their court, preferably to the middles, right? Their middle attackers, Russell Holmes and Sean Dennis, 2 of the bigger middles in the league, and obviously 2 of the more experienced ones as well.
Yeah, for anyone that has maybe not tuned in yet this season, you might notice the absence of Jake Langlois. He was on that squad last season, now playing with the Texas Tyrants in 2022. They've kind of felt that absence, not only on the court as a scoring presence, but also I would say notably his reliable attendance at events. They've kind of had some revolving door of getting the guys all here, and so that's definitely hurt them as well this season.
Stingers have done a pretty good job of replacing Jake. I mean, Jake's a very key player on whatever team he does participate on. We saw that 2 years ago when the Stingers won, and Jake was the MVP of the league.
Yeah.
Right now, they have Yasalander Kala, very good, experienced professional that plays overseas, played his college volleyball at BYU, so he knows the system. He's very familiar with the personnel. And obviously you have veterans, again, Russell Holmes, we keep saying his name, but Jorge Mencia as well, the opposite player for the Stingers, really making a big contribution for that club.
Yeah, Mencia was definitely missed on the right side that last event.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, we saw a really, really good match from number 3 there. That was Shane Tai. Had a stellar performance. He's now recently located to Southern California, joining a couple more of the guys. Russ Holmes is out here, Mike Velitato. Reed is out here as well as Sean Dennis. So now half the team out in Southern California. They train together and half in Utah. So Shane definitely getting some more reps out here with some of these SoCal crews. So it's been benefiting him. I've been able to play with him a couple times, and he's definitely no slacker. But this team really missed a consistent passing core during event 2. I think that was the most apparent thing.
Yeah.
So that'll be the challenge today. Can we see Yo Slater Kala step in with Clark? And in the libero jersey, I assume is Chandler Baugh.
Right. Yeah, the passing has been a little bit of a problem for the Stingers, and we saw that in event 2 when they weren't able to go quick very often because their passing was not quite on point. I don't think they're going to see a lot of service pressure from the Matadors today. The Matadors not one of the stronger serving teams here in the NVA, but however, for the Stingers, it will very much work in their advantage if they're able to provide some service pressure from the inline against the Matadors, who already struggle to run quick, but if they're in a high ball situation, it's going to be even more advantage to the Stingers.
Yeah, what's really going to be interesting here was when I look over at the personnel. So we see Ben Gabor from Trinity Christian College. It's an NAIA school in the Chicagoland. So I bet he'll be playing middle alongside of Brett Massetti. But what's so interesting about this team is when you look at the height line, they're almost all the same 6'5" across the board. They're those really well-rounded guys that, you know, they're grass players, they're beach players, they're indoor players, and so they all play that kind of that finesse ball. They're really controlled, consistent, and good out of system. And that's going to be really important for this team today to see if they're able to kind of embrace that and harness that.
Yeah, it's really kind of where the rubber meets the road right now for the Matadors. They really have to find their identity. They need to play with some fire, some passion, right? Work together. together as sort of they've had that revolving door that you talked about earlier in terms of personnel. Regardless of whether or not Patrice is here, which he clearly is not for this match today, the Matadors are still trying to kind of find their own identity, right? And, you know, they don't have to travel very far. They're here. This is a home court advantage for them. And, you know, they have the personnel in place and they're making some good improvements, but really ultimately it's going to be about what's their identity, what's their brand of volleyball that they want to play, and are they able to kind of put the pieces together? But they're going to have a pretty good challenge and test in front of them this morning.
Yeah, and we've got starting lineups in here, so a couple surprises on here. So on the side of Utah Stingers, we're going to see Yo Slater-Kala on the outside opposite of Paul Cougar Clark. On the right side, they're starting Shane Tai. In the middle, we're going to see Sean Dennis as well as number 17. That's Andrew Trepanier. So he's going to be starting over Russ Holmes in this match. And then Chandler Baugh, no surprise there, donning the yellow jersey, number 0. And Reed Chilton, the setter, number 13, is going to have hands. On the side of the Inland Empire Matadors, setter will be number 3, that's Victor Vasquez. 7 is going to be Daniel Calvente wearing the libero jersey, Jordan Wally, as well as Eric Beatty on the outside, Brett Massetti and Ben Gabor in the middle. So not a lot of surprises there. Jacob Vanderbeek will be coming off the bench. We saw him a little bit in the previous event.
Yeah.
So no major surprises other than maybe the Shane Tai start, but I think that Stingers might be using some of the reserves here, and they're going to test out and see what the Matadors team is doing.
Well, it's definitely important. I mean, a big part of, you know, the NVA and the 2 matches over 3 days, you know, throughout the season is a big part of it is player management, right? And we've seen that throughout the season so far, and I think we'll continue to see it until the playoffs roll around when those matches really matter. And not that this match doesn't matter. It's a very important match for both of these teams, but you really do have to manage your personnel and kind of handle how many jumps they take and how they feel and take all that into account and make sure everybody's fresh, you know, and ready to go.
Absolutely the case. And a quick note, the way that these teams are going to be qualifying, I think it's going to become more and more apparent throughout the rest of this event. But basically there are 4 conferences in the NVA. Every one has 3 teams. Whichever team has the best record from each conference automatically qualifies for that last weekend. Those 4 conferences are split up with into the 2 divisions. And then of the 4 remaining teams, you take the top 2. So one conference could send all 3 teams. So right now, if you're the Seattle Sasquatch, Chicago Untouchables sitting at winless, you've got to start winning now, or else that door to get a bid is very rapidly closing. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of this weekend, there could be some teams that are actually mathematically eliminated. I'm not sure yet if that could happen, but an 0-6 season, I think probably ends your season right now.
Talk about an uphill battle from that point forward.
Right? Yeah. Well, just like that, we're going to get underway here. Victor Vasquez Lopez, first server for the Matadors, finds the tape, but finds an ace off the back. What a way to start the day for the Inland Empire Matadors.
Not very often do you see a service ace on the very first serve of the entire event, but nicely done for the Matadors.
Vasquez with another jump serve. This one not able to crawl over the tape. That's going to tie us up at 1 apiece.
Still a decent ratio, right? 1 ace to 1 error, and we're tied at 1s on the board, Nick.
Big jump serve toss from Chilton. In-system pass means in-system swing, and Ben Gabor, number 18. Big kill there.
Well, you definitely like to see that if you're a fan of the Matadors, right? Very first offensive opportunity of the weekend. Run the quick through the middle off that perfect pass and score that point.
Jordan Wally now to serve. Good pass by Kala. Kala gets the set and the kill off the hand there of middle blocker Ben Gabor.
College is so experienced, one of the most veteran players on the Stingers squad other than maybe Russell Holmes, but a little slow to get warmed up. You can tell he's got some mileage on that body of his, and that's going to be a much-needed play for the Stingers as this match goes on.
Tight pass means a one-handed set that connects to Gabor in the middle. Vasquez flowing the sauce to the middle. What a great set there.
really key if you're a younger middle blocker out there watching, and when you see your setter go up for a one-handed set, you have to be available because you're going to get that set.
Gabor now to float. Targeting Kala once again. Out of system pass. But Clark, cool as ever, chisels off the right hand of Vanderbeek, number 17.
Yeah, and that's what Paul Clark brings to the floor as an outside hitter for the Stingers, is the ability to kind of go blasting off the hands and off the block as if your block's not well formed prior to the hit.
Yeah. Missed serve there for number 17. Trepanier misses that one in what I believe is his NVA debut. Jacob Vanderbeek, fresh off a season over in England while getting his master's degree. Gets another ace. That's the second ace so far for the Matadors. Clark off to a bit of a slow start, getting ace for the second time. Matt, we always talk about the importance of in-system passing to run your middle, and we thought this was going to be very much the opposite way of the middles of the Stingers. But right now, Ben Gabor getting his name said quite a bit because of the passing from the Matadors.
Yeah, and the service pressure from the Matadors as well. 2 aces, but then followed up with 2 errors. So a little back and forth, but yeah, it is interesting to see the Matadors going quick, passing well, and service pressure from the inline.
I think having Victor Vasquez back in and Colby Elder on the bench behind him is a welcome addition. But they are not stopping. Brett Massetti now getting involved. That's 3 kills out of the middle, 5 points, and that means 3 middle kills, 2 aces. That's it.
Pretty good ratio right there for the Matadors. Clearly they've been working on that connection in their practice gym, and seeing very rare do you not see any outside sets to the Matadors at this point of a set.
That's really going to make their life easy when they have to set them, though, with how established the middle is right now. Beatty puts some pressure on. Shane Ty pulls it back, and Ball's going to send this one deep. Vanderbeek says thanks for the free ball, and now a kill once again, Brett Massetti. Wow, the Matadors just have zero respect for the Stingers' middle right now.
Ouch, Nick, that's kind of harsh, but it's true. Run the middle, establish that quick attack.
4 kills and 7 points out of the middle. I think they're sending a very clear message about how Vasquez wants to run his offense and play this game.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I just noticed, the starting lineup for the Stingers, Russell Holmes and Jorge Mencia both on the bench. So some of that player management like we talked about earlier, and perhaps the Matadors sniffing a little blood in the water.
Yeah. Beatty once again. Targeting Baugh, free ball, Ty gets a good swing, high hands. That's in though. The block for the Matadors getting it done.
Yeah, and right now everything going Matadors' way. Aces, attacks, pretty much perfect, and now getting in the block category. So far it's been all Matadors here setting the tone early.
Their service pressure, you've been talking about it nonstop. Their service pressure is really besting Stingers right now. And now Kala overpasses. Ooh, bit of mismanagement. Vanderbeek forced to tip that one over. Clark now gets an opportunity and scores once again. So that's going to be the second tool of the match there for number 1, Paul Clark.
Yeah, Paul Clark, even though he's struggling in serve reception, carrying a big offensive load for the Stingers so far, is I think the only person that scored any points offensively.
Good pass by Calvente. Wally with the wipe. Number 8, Jordan Wally, another guy that spent some time playing overseas in England while he got his master's degree. A variety of guys in the league have done that. From number 17, you see Wally's done it. Ramblers owner Vinny Rodriguez did that while he was still playing as well as Ryan Schickling on that team. So a bunch of guys go that route.
Yeah,
it's kind
a really
of an interesting
cool avenue for players to go get their continued education, a master's degree, but then also play some volleyball in England and the United Kingdom, which is not really a highly touted volleyball powerhouse, but still volleyball all the same, and an opportunity to continue some careers while getting a higher education.
Sean Dennis, someone that generates a lot of pressure with his serve. A good pass, though. Vanderbeek on the D-ball, forced to manage. That one was very, very aggressive on the location. So I think Vanderbeek was a little late, a little far forward.
Well, we have a perfect angle for viewing along the 10-foot line, and Vanderbeek took off basically 2 feet behind the 10-foot line. And so, yeah, the connection between those two players is just not quite there right now.
Dennis misses that one long. So the Matadors still holding on to a solid lead for themselves at 10-7.
Stingers trying to get that engine started, right? Just looking a little slow. Passing not quite there. Timing is off. Altogether.
No touch is called. Correct call there. Kala leaves that one short, a little bit low in the tape. That was a heck of a serve from Vasquez, getting that arm warmed up a little bit. Does it again, targeting Clark. Boz forced to bump set to Kala. Beek now with a big swing off the arm of 24, Slater Kala.
Jacob Vanderbeek making up for that hitting error out of the back row in the previous attempt, but that time not afraid to go blasting off of the hands of Kala's block as Russell Holmes decides to call the Stingers' first time out here.
And that's going to be, the first timeout, like you said, at 12-7. We'll be right back after a quick timeout break. Back in the action now. We'll see if that timeout was able to slow Vasquez down at all. But otherwise, there is a lot of pressure being generated here from number 3. Well, he sends that one to another zip code. That one had some backspin, hit the back wall, and it was still going up.
Back wall on the fly. Bit of a home run there. As I like to say, Nick, just a little too much mustard on that one.
Yep. Got a piece of it for sure. Reed Chilton, one of the more aggressive jump servers. Interesting to see it from a setter, but does a good job as well. Great pass by Wally, and that means middle connection's back. Ben Gabor tips over the top. Chilton a little late on the read.
Ben Gabor doing a nice job offensively for the Matadors. Clearly, like we've been talking about, coaching staff is determined they want to run their offense through the middle, especially putting a premium on those passes, and Ben Gabor doing a nice job so far.
Shane Ty misses that one, waffles his long. I don't think we've seen a single middle set yet from the Stingers. The pass has just not been there. I gotta say, just as someone that I just love watching the good volleyball, seeing the Matadors answer back from a little bit of a slow start and playing this well right now is awesome. This is fun volleyball to see them playing.
Yeah, it is good to see the Matadors really starting to put the pieces together. And they have come out with a very good sense of urgency and put the pressure on the Stingers just right out of the gates, and now midway through set number 1.
But we always talk about it, the Stingers, that squad of guys that are a bit older, they've seen this song and dance before, and sometimes if you're going to beat them, you've got to win that first set because they only improve as they wake up and warm up.
Very true. The Stingers' characteristics are to come out of the gates a little bit slow, as we're seeing right now.
A dump attempt, but read like a book. Beatty there to shut it down. Tight pass. Chilton tries to send it, but not having any of that is number 20.
Just like that, Nick, this game is basically out of reach for the Stingers. They should probably just try to kind of find some momentum and get their passing in check and try to carry it over into set number 2 now. Matadors need to keep their foot on the gas pedal here.
Clark with a good pass. Shane ties the option, but a good block touch slows it down and gives the Matadors another chance. Missed set location there by Vasquez. Beatty unable to bring it back.
Yeah,
Man.
timing just not quite there between Vasquez and Beatty. So that needs to get worked on a little bit more here.
Yep.
But fortunately, when you have an advantage like this on the scoreboard, all you just got to do is go back inside out.
Kala off the tape. Calvente stepping on Gabor, able to keep it alive, and they reset. Shane Tai opens up the angle with a huge 2-2 swing. What a great scoring opportunity for number 3.
Well, that's a swing you want to see from the very first chance of the match,
Yeah.
not when the set is basically out of reach, but a very nice swing. Vanderbeek has to get his arms out and dig that ball.
Now out of system, Vanderbeek takes this one. Free ball comes from Beatty, airs it out, misses the ceiling, play continues. And now Clark goes 4-4. We're seeing the Stingers activate that angle, keeping the middle guessing a little bit because they're the recipient of that easy free ball. They get to reap the rewards.
Well, Stinger's getting a little sense of urgency now. Two nice swings in transition by the team in white, so only down by 5 here.
Perfect pass. That means the middle. You guessed it. There it is. Ben Gabor with another kill. 4 kills so far for number 18. You know,
It's as if you knew what was going to happen before it happened.
it's one of those things we've talked a lot about. When there's when they have 3 or 4 middles on the side of the Matadors, they kind of shuffle them around, and sometimes leaves you and I wondering what their game plan is here.
Yeah.
But they've only got 2 middles today, so I love knowing that there's not really a choice to do anything but play these guys because I think they're doing a great job so far.
That's true, and they are a little bit of unassuming middle blockers. If you look at Ben Gabor, he's not a 6'10", physically imposing middle attacker. He's probably 6'5", and he's just very workmanlike, doing his thing and scoring his points.
Yeah, he's out of Chicago, like I said. He was teammates alongside of Jake Ostema, one of the new middles on Chicago Untouchables. So it's interesting to see some of those guys getting added in, the NAIA talent. Plenty of guys there. Now Mike Velatato, number 21, coming in as a serving sub after we saw Trepanier miss his last serving attempt. That was off. Interesting. So that ball, that did not hit the antenna. I would challenge this.
I thought that was a
Clark.
net violation.
That was
by
a
Paul
net.
Clark, yeah. I mean, I would possibly challenge it as well, but I don't think we're going to see it. I would challenge this.
I would challenge this absolutely.
Too late now. Can't challenge it after the whistle blows. So,
but goes right back to the middle. Brett Massetti.
Well, Matadors continuing to go with that game plan that has worked so well. Run the ball through the quick attack, and this time Brett Massetti scores the point.
Right now, it really feels like you don't even need to worry about a serving target. Just serve hard and in if you're the Matadors. We're seeing a lot of struggling across the back line, so a little bit of pressure here on Chandler Baugh to see if he can help the boys shore it up and take control. Dug by Wally. Vanderbeek with a great bump set. Beatty swings out of system, gets a nice rip. Clark tries again, rolls over the top, picked up by Vanderbeek. Dennis throws it down using all 6'11" of number 14. The Anteater alumni throwing it down, getting it done.
Nice shout out there, Nick. But yeah, it helps when you're 6'11" and that ball comes right over the tape. You can basically stand there and throw it down without jumping, as Sean just did.
Sean is such a tall guy, very lanky in general, but he is one of the best net presence players, I think, in the league. When you see tight 50-50 balls, he's very coordinated, very aggressive, and he does not let the ball get back down to the level of other players. So, well-executed ball by him there. Bump set to the middle, but dug by Baugh. Shane Tai the bailout, and he finishes it. A nice retaliation from the Swarm. Getting it done is number 3.
Well, the Stingers have done a great job creating some momentum. Now down only by 3 points. Perhaps I jinxed them, or they heard me earlier when I said that this set was basically over, but we've got ourselves a game now.
Free ball pass. Bit out of system, and Tai has to reset it. Beatty hammers, but blocked from the double block of Chilton and Dennis. Now just a 2-point lead. And just like that, you whack the Hive with a stick and the Swarm comes alive. Timeout called now by the Matadors. We'll be right back as this one escalates into the second half of set number 1. All right, we are getting back into way. Shane Ty gets a float serve, but a tight pass means Beatty is in system. Good adjustment there from Vasquez to find number 20 on the outside.
Yeah, that's what the Matadors need to figure out. Vasquez and Beatty, the connection hasn't quite been there throughout this match yet because they've been going so much quick attack. But that's a very good sign for the Matadors to see Beatty get, I think, his first attack kill on the left side.
Beatty now hammering from the service line, but Sean Dennis looks to get involved, and the first set to the middle yields a point.
Well, the Stingers have to do that. You know that they want to set quick. We've seen them do that all season long, but the passing hasn't been there. And that time the pass is on the money, and Reed Chilton gets the ball into Sean Dennis for the kill.
The Cougar now to serve with a big jump serve toss. Finds Beatty, but Beatty lays out with a good ball. Reversal to the D ball, dug down the line by Baugh. And the ceiling careens that ball backwards out of the court, and no one able to read it.
Yeah, just a bit of bad luck that time for the Stingers. That dig went high up into the rafters and kind of got hidden behind that metal girder up there. And when it came out, it went the wrong direction and basically away from all the Stingers who were waiting for it.
That's our one. We run an FIVB standard rule set. The only adjustment is that our ceilings are live, given a little bit of a lower nature. Our goal here in the NVA is to mitigate all reasons to end a play other than the ball hitting the floor from a swing. So we want to make sure that guys are getting the opportunity, and that's something that might change in the future as the
gotta let these guys play and battle it out. The referees not being involved other than just, for rule knowledge and trying to not blow the whistle for something that's inappropriate or not really necessary, and let the guys play and determine the outcome.
Eric Beatty seeing a lot of open court in zone 4. A low pass from Wally, but Beatty bails out the Matadors there. Great recognition.
Great recognition and great vision, Nick, especially out of the back row to see that. The Stanford alumni. Eric Beatty got that point out of the back row.
Using all of that Stanford University education, a lot of brain power up there, and finding court with that tip. Vasquez gets behind that one a little bit and drives it long once again. You can hear all of there's quite a bit of Stinger fan support here. A lot of the kids of the parents that are playing right now. Very, very loud and supportive. Got a full organization going over there. Love to see it.
Yep, love to see that. Youth, future of the Stingers program over there, cheering on their squad.
Great diving up from Baugh. This is going to have to free ball over from Kala. That was out of bounds. Being called out of bounds. Being ignored.
Very interesting. We saw the line judge calling that attack
going to happen right now. I saw that very out of bounds as well.
Yeah, and the head referee also saw him waving his flag. I'm not too sure why he didn't stop the play, but as for right now, it appears as if the Stingers will get this point, but this will definitely be a challengeable call from the Matadors coaching staff if it's not overruled.
And it is immediately. Good discussion there from the referees. Maybe just kind of missed that going on.
Yeah, nice teamwork from the team in gray.
Yep.
Right. Oh, and now we'll see a challenge from Russell Holmes. I like this challenge from Coach Holmes.
All right, first challenge of the event. For anyone that's not aware of how the challenge system works, each team is granted 3 challenges at the beginning of the match. They can use them at any time. If they get their challenge correct, then you keep your challenge. If you get it wrong, you lose it. During the 5th set, regardless of how many challenges you have remaining, you are granted 1 challenge. Same rules apply. If you get it right, you keep it. A little bit of a make it, take it. We saw a very fun little skit put together by the OC Stoners, Nick West, kind of explaining what that system's all about. So if you haven't seen it already, go to Instagram, check that out. It got posted just a day or 2 ago. It's also on the NVA USA TikTok. So be sure to check out those social media platforms. We've got a ton of fun content coming your way every single day. But this will be a very critical one. We always talk about the importance of using your challenges effectively. Matt, at 22-19, this would reverse it to 21-20 if it's overturned.
No, it's a very important point of the set on the scoreboard. I don't think the Stingers are going to get this overrule, so perhaps Coach Russell Holmes using it as a second timeout just to bring his group together and kind of talk some strategy. They've done a nice job here in the second half of the set to create some urgency and play with some momentum offensively, bring this game within just a couple of points, but I still think the Matadors are going to get this point.
I agree with you. And this is one of those things that you speak to the importance of being on the bench. It's never the glorious spot to be. Everyone wants to be out in the show. But there it is, confirmed, staying with the Matadors. But this is one of those things that the bench guys, that's kind of your responsibility, helping see ins and outs, tell when to make the good challenge, when is it right, when's it wrong. And that responsibility isn't just on the coach, it's the players saying, hey, we need to challenge this one. And
absolutely right.
Not quite finding it there. Jordan Wally to serve now, back into the action. Good dig in transition. They go to the outside, but that's going to be a net on Vasquez. Or was it under? Net or under. Basically too tight of a pass there. And
yeah, center line violation by Vasquez. After he set that ball, his momentum took his right foot completely over the line, which resulted in an interference in that center line violation.
A little bit of a break for the Stingers. Calvente finds a good pass. Beatty off the net, but just thumps that into the middle of the court. I have no idea how that got through there.
Yeah, that was we've seen that ball get blocked a lot in that hitting angle, but Eric Beatty getting his body behind that one and just unleashing a little frustration on that ball.
Yeah, he generates a lot of power on those swings too, so nice little snap on the ball there for him. And Gabor now with a jump serve. Clark chips it down the line, picked up, kept alive, and Gabor sends it. Not a great first pass by Ty. Blocked, and that's going to do it. The Matadors are pushing us to game point here in the first set. That's a great form block by the duo of Vander Beek and Brett Massetti.
Brett Massetti, not another imposing blocker for the Matadors, but just technically sound and getting it done right there.
Gabor leaves that one short. And that's going to mean Sean Dennis makes his return. No serving substitution, able to remove Trepanier here. So that means number 17 will have another opportunity to serve, see if he's able to get a little mojo going for the boys in white. Ooh, Eric Beatty, number 20, with an exclamation point to end set number 1 for the men in red. That's a point and a kill for the Matadors. We'll be right back here, and we get into set number 2. Don't go anywhere. Back into the action, but before it starts, we're joined by Noah Chast, our man on the sideline. He's going to take this one away. Noah, what do you got for us?
Yeah, well, good morning, guys. Happy to be back here. And what a surprising start from the Matadors. And you emphasized that middle presence that they had. And that's something that's part of their typical game plan. But they noticed early in this match, early in the set, that the Stinger defense wasn't really picking up what they were putting down out of the middle, so they just kept adding on to it. And in terms of that serving attack, they were absolutely targeting Paul Clark. That was part of their game plan coming in, and it's been paying off for them. On the Stinger side, when they stormed that little bit of a comeback, they said they just got to put 75% swings and 75% serves and let the Matadors make the mistakes on their end. We'll see if that pays off for them. Nick, Matt, send it back to you guys for the start of set number 2.
Thanks so much. Great insight. But, you know, it's funny. We hear their goal is let them make the mistakes. Well, you want to force some more mistakes? Throw George Mencia and Russ Holmes back on the court, and that's going to force a couple more mistakes to get made.
Yeah,
so.
Nice adjustment there from the Stingers as we see both of those players back onto the court after not playing in set number 1, realizing that maybe their job duties are required here this morning, and they're going to have to go 4 sets now if they want to win this match at minimum. So We'll see. Expect a little bit of a different flavor here in set number 2.
Yeah, no changes on the Matadors. No surprise there, but good to see all the same. Reed Chilton, the jump server, number 13, to start us off. Great pass by Beatty, and a D-ball from Vanderbeek. Squeaks over, but a huge pickup by Clark. Calvente gets a little bit of a favor from the ceiling. Beatty tries to find it, but not able to grab that one off of the ceiling deflection.
It's always interesting to see the response from a team after losing the opening set. And right out of the gate, Stingers playing with some emotion and some fire on their side now.
Chilton goes after Wally with this one, and Wally gets the roll shot recycle. Beatty swinging out of system from the back row. Now Holmes cold off the bench, scoring into the corner. Wasting no time to get his name set as he stats a kill for the match.
Well, if he's going to be on the floor, you have to run your offense through Russell Holmes in the middle when you get those opportunities. You know that Reed Chilton and Russell Holmes have that connection well established, and Reed will utilize it as much as possible.
Quick fire to the middle, and that's where Russ is at his very best. He's got just such a disciplined block. He reads setters so well, and that's a low-fired 3-ball to number 18, but Russ Holmes having absolutely none of it and shutting the young middle down.
Yeah, this will be a very interesting dynamic to view as Vasquez tries to go back to Gabor, but this time Russell Holmes is in front of him and he gets the block.
Wally getting picked on a bit here. Another free ball from the Matadors. Russ puts himself in system. Vasquez loses his handle on that one, tries the one-handed back dump, sends it wide. Just like that, Stingers are very much awake.
I think we might see a completely different outcome here in set number 2, and just the start of it has set a different tone in this gym.
Good discipline from Baugh to know where his body was at, not to chase that one. Now Mency goes up and takes care of the overpass. Vanderbeek had stepped in to pass there. I don't know if that was, yeah, it looks like he had stepped in to move Wally out. I talked a little bit about the dynamic ability of their pins here. So moving to a 4-man serve receive. Quick trigger pull, getting Wally out of there. Something that has, feels like it kind of has littered his time in the NVA. Someone that generally trends upwards pretty well, scores consistent points, but finding some quick substitutions out. Gabor swinging out of system just to put it away, put it over. Mency dug. And a free ball once again, another free ball opportunity. Big swing for the big man, number 12. Russ Holmes puts it away in the middle.
Well, I think the Stingers were a little upset with their efforts in set number 1 and not getting the result that they were expecting of themselves, and have come out and set a completely different tone here in set number 2.
Good pass by Beatty. And able to punch it through the block is number 5, Jimmy Montez off the bench. All the guys that have come off the bench so far have done a nice job on both sides, very quickly establishing themselves as a swinging option, scoring points quickly. Vasquez leaves that one short, and on the first serving attempt for the Matadors of the match, generate absolutely no momentum for themselves. Kalla's been hitting kind of a standing float serve there, leaving that one short, bounces off the tape. Montez the option once again. Stingers are going to free ball this one over. Montez once again, but dug now by Chilton. Bottom-Ency. Fox steps in with the first dig for him this match as the libero for the Matadors. Nice roll shot from Vanderbeek, good recognition, finds the campfire in the middle of the court.
Yeah, both teams doing a nice job. A couple of free balls that extended that rally, but really the off blocker has to roll underneath the block. That time it's Paul Clark who doesn't go in there. See him watching, and we've got to get that ball up.
Jimmy Montez already seeing a large portion of the set load here. See if he continues to get involved from the back row. Wow, what a save there from Chilton. And now Vanderbeek getting the damage done on the right side. Matt, earlier I want to call back. You shared some insight that when you see that tight pass go up and a setter with a one-handed attempt, as a middle, you've got to be there. Russ Holmes demonstrating that beautifully there. Not able to get the kill, but they're all the same.
Yep, it's very common that when the setter goes up with one hand, really has only option is to go quick. You got to work extra hard to get up and be available.
Russ Holmes stats his 3rd kill of the match. The former Olympian wastes no time to get involved. Aggressive float serve. Beatty misses that one wide, and what came out as a fairly anticlimactic point. Right now, the Matadors are struggling to find their out-of-system groove. I think they spoiled themselves a bit with their control in the passing in game 1, as well as capitalizing on the Stingers' lack of energy. But right now, they got to find some of it on their own. More than happy to say thanks for the free point, Russ, on a missed serve there.
Right now, it's really the only way the Matadors can side out is off of a service error, as they have not been able to recreate that early mojo that they had in set number 1.
Kalla passes to the 10. Clark rips it down the line, almost takes Vasquez's head off. Gets a nice point there. We're seeing the passing's not perfect by any means on the side of the Stingers, but at the end of set number 1, they were passing at a 33% clip. If you're at a team rate getting to around a 70%, that's where you're looking consistently in system,
right,
looking good and healthy. So they're less than half of that. So a lot of room for improvement, and I would say they're already doing so effectively. Little miscommunication there between Clark and Dennis of what they want to get closed up there, but Vanderbeek thunders that one through the angle, gets a nice kill, going 2-2. Paul Clark has really been a trash collector for some of the passing going on right now, some of it at his own behest, but he's getting a lot of sets from behind him that he's having to work some mojo with. Doing a nice job there.
Yeah, sometimes as that 0-2 outside hitter, that's sort of your responsibility. A lot of people see it as the opposite hitter that has to take out a lot of the garbage, but this time it's Paul Clark, and he's been doing a decent job with it.
Goes back now with a good serve. Beatty swinging into the double block, uses the hand there. It looked like a Reed Chilton. Sends that one outside the court.
We're starting to see some glimpses of better defensive volleyball from the Stingers, which they didn't really have in set number 1. A nice attack from the Matadors going high off the hands, but Ba and Kala really have to turn and pursue that ball and try to extend that rally.
Perfect pass means a perfect set to the middle. Sean Dennis, the 6'11 Titan in the middle, getting it done. Big swing into the corner of zone 5 off the pass of number 0, Chandler Ba.
Yeah, that all started from that perfect pass coming from the libero. Eric Beatty with a good jump serve, and he can put some good pressure from the inline, but that time the guy in the other jersey has that on for a purpose, and Chandler Ba takes advantage of it.
Just long, a little bit of a bailout there. Sean Dennis, someone that loves playing some beach volleyball. You know, he's developed a variety of serves that he likes to bring out, and just you never know what's going to come out of that bag of tricks. So Matador's happy for that service run to end early. Free ball coming back, easy one, taken by Montez. Into the middle by Gabor, and that's dug by Ba, but not brought out of the net.
Some very uncharacteristic errors being made by the Stingers. They're very steady. They're a very good volleyball team, but right now we're seeing some very mediocre passing, and a misconnection from Reed Chilton to the outside is just, you know, this early morning, Saturday morning game for the Stingers is perhaps catching up to them a little bit.
Montez covered up there well by Massetti. Clark punch dig to try and keep it alive. Able to be brought back by Kala. Pursuit in their favor. And now a middle swing off the hands, finds the corner. Ben Gabor wastes no time getting back involved, taking it to the double block of Kala and Holmes.
Now Ben not getting a lot of options or opportunities here in set number 2, so when he does, he's got to take advantage of it. That time drives the ball deep to the corner. Off the defense for the point.
Quick recognition, Brett Massetti, the middle blocker, playing some defense there, covers up the outside swing. Love to see it when they get involved back there. Beatty doesn't quite get the one-handed punch he was looking for. A little shallow in the court. Saw the touch come through on the block and knew he had to take a stab. Reed Chilton now started the service run that established the 5-point lead that has plagued this entire second set for the Matadors. See if he can do it again. And that's on me, buddy. Sorry about that one. Broadcaster curse right out of the gate, serves that one into the net. And now just a 3-point lead. Vasquez missed his serve last time. After opening the match with a strong serving performance, he's been littered with errors, so good to see him back on top of it there. Mencia dug by Fox. Montez has to manage. George Mencia tips over the top. Set to the outside, and Beatty has the free ball. Miscommunication everywhere. Who's going to take it home and finish this point? Kala misses wide, no touch. Point for the Matadors.
Well, that was not the prettiest rally of volleyball that we've seen today, or we'll see throughout this match, but really surprised that Reed Chilton didn't go quick to Russell Holmes. The very first play of that rally is a perfect pass and opportunity, ultimately resulting in the Matadors getting the point off the Kala hitting error.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was going to be kind of automatic given how well Russ has been hitting and that connection's been working so well. And Vasquez returns to form a little bit from what we've seen. I think that's his 4th missed serve, if my count is correct.
Well, Vasquez starting the match off with that service ace. His service pressure has eluded him here in set number 2.
Vanderbeek has to manage, chips it deep. Clark looks for hands, misses them, but dug by Beatty. Matador's a bit asleep at the wheel here.
Yeah, I mean, the Matadors are only down by 4 points. They're very much within striking distance, and when you get an opportunity like that to dig a ball and turn it in transition, you've got to make that play.
Yeah, I'm confused where there was confusion, I guess. Gabor takes a nice rip there, dug by Chilton. Ba gets a good bump set, and Clark adjusting very well to the inside. attacking number 12. And that's going to bring us to the technical timeout at 16:11. We'll be right back. And we're getting back into it, 16-11, a nice 5-point lead here. The Utah Stingers leading in set number 2 after a bit of a rough start there in the first set. You know, it feels like one team so far each set has been a little bit asleep on the court. Maybe it's that side of the court that's the problem. We'll see. Matadors, I feel like they're doing some great things, and then one small lapse just ends the point for them. So doing a lot of things right, but see if they're able to put it back together.
Well, you have to give credit to the Stingers that have come out with some urgency here in set number 2, as that is a hitting error resulting in a point to the Stingers, but we're going to see another challenge, it looks like. Pretty sure that attack went into the antenna before making contact with the blocker's arms, but
I'm not sure if the challenge will stand since there was a miss. Okay, well, that's going to be an interesting one. We'll see if we get some feedback here on what's being challenged. If we're able to get some sideline information, maybe we'll see if our man Noah is able to get us any insight as to what's challenged, because that ball didn't clear the tape. They called it out on the antenna. I don't know what they're really looking for here, but bold strategy.
Yeah, so some clarification happening now at the officials table here. The initial call was out of bounds. Okay, so this is what happened. The up official pointed in the wrong direction on the very first call, and then changed his initial call to award the point to the Stingers off of a hitting error, ball attack into the antenna, which now the Matadors have challenged that call and looking for the overturn to be that the ball went off the block and into the antenna.
Ah, okay. I think they're going to lose that. But
I do too.
Good clarification all the same.
You're welcome.
That's what you're here for, Matt. Letting the people at home know. Once again, we've talked about it before. We're not quite able to stream the feed yet into you to see the challenge. However, that is something that is being worked on from a broadcast perspective. Whether we're able to see it later on this season or in seasons to come, just know that it is at the forefront of priorities for the league. But excited that we're able to have a 10-camera challenge system set up and getting us reviews like this all the same.
And let's talk about how important that is to have the challenge system so they can get this call correct and get the scoreboard correct as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that the name of the game with developing a pro league here in the U.S. is, you know, we've been here for 5 seasons, and it's all about steady growth. You can't just flip a switch on overnight and have everything be perfect.
Right.
And so just every season we're trying to improve 1-2 things, make it known, and that was one of the big additions that we were really excited to get brought in. And one of the other ones coming up we haven't really talked too much about, All-Star Game, event number 5, Saturday night. There it is, challenge overturned. Wow. Well, we can remove our foot from our mouths.
Yeah.
Great challenge from Coach Natasha Mills-Nalez there.
Very interesting. Hard to tell since we didn't get a chance to see the replay.
And the challenge was overturned to go for the Matadors.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, that's where you rely on.
Anyways, back to it now after that challenge and a point being awarded to the Matadors. So get underway once again.
Swing goes out.
So good side out from the Stingers as we see Russell Holmes now getting ready to serve.
Holmes takes the float down the line, taken by Montez. Beatty gets a recycle swing here off of Mincy, gets a second chance. There's no recycle there as he punches that one through. Mincy not able to handle the heat.
Mencia, one of the better blockers here as the opposite player in the NVA, and got the first one on Beatty, and I can see a little rivalry brewing there, Nick, between Beatty and Mencia as this match progresses.
Absolutely, like you said, great blocker. One-handed dig there. Beatty wipes it off, but it's brought back. Good defense there from Chilton. Vanderbeek tries now, but another block touch slowing it down. Miscommunication about who's gonna take that one, but another great dig. Beek gets a chance, rolls it over. Chilton trying to come alive and not able to get over Kala. Oh, that was some great defense on both sides of the net.
You're right, Nick, great defense, but a little bit of just kind of the tone of this match has been funny little plays that guys are falling over and just not getting the ball up high enough and not able to kind of extend that rally, but not the cleanest brand of volleyball being played, but still highly competitive.
Sometimes that's just how the match goes, and it's really a struggle to be the first team to feel like you can kind of right that ship, see if you can get your guys back in control. Mency with a masterful cut into the angle, avoiding the double block of Beatty and Massetti.
Yeah, Mencia, sorry Nick, don't mean to cut you off, but Mencia doing a nice job slicing that one sharp cross court. Again, that rivalry we're talking about, Mencia against Beatty, veteran against rookie. Youth and age will be very interesting to see as it goes on in this match.
Perfect pass, Beatty, but nice block touch from the solo of Chilton. D-ball of Mincy, that one's dug by Vasquez.
An over violation on
attack.
Mencia. Back row attack. Violation on the 3-meter line that time from Mencia's attack there on the right back situation. Bit unfortunate for the Stingers. It could be challengeable, but I don't think we're gonna see a challenge card.
It wasn't a big one, but it looked pretty definitive. Now Nick Ramos making his entry with a double sub. Nick Ramos coming in, and that's gonna be Colby Elder, number 9, as the second setter. Started the season playing with the Ramblers, but has since transferred over to the Matadors for this. Mincy tips over the top. Ramos with a one-handed dig, and Elder goes outside. Ramos with some chowder, but Dennis swinging out a system picked up by Jimmy Montez. And a free ball attempt from Beatty. There's that really sloppy volleyball we were talking about. Now, something to recognize really quick on the doubles. So the way that the doubles are being adjusted on the international level, if I'm not mistaken, is that anybody that's attempting to set your player, basically doubles are kind of not being called now. If you're sending it over the net, they will be. But as long as you're trying to connect with one of your hitters, if I'm not mistaken. But that's something that's kind of being adjusted to mitigate the amount of overcalls. But the easiest way to mitigate any disputes is to slam the overpass. Sean Dennis absolutely dents the floorboards there. Number 14 with a huge kill, and that's going to be a timeout called at 15:20. We'll be right back. Down by 5. Bit of a challenge here, Matt. What do you see? What do the Matadors have to do?
Well, the Matadors, they need to go back to what was working so well for them in set number 1, which was run their offense through the middle. Get that pass up to the net so you can set Ben Gabor and Brett Massetti, and the Stingers have not been able to stop them. They didn't stop them in set number 1, and that's what the Matadors are lacking here in set number 2.
It's a game of serve and pass right now. Fox gets a nice ball. Is there the middle established, but Massetti dug easily by Mencia. Dug by Elder. Montez bailed out by Nick Ramos. Gets his feet there. Disciplined move by number 1. The former Chicago untouchable doing a nice job.
Reed Chilton just a little late on that blocking responsibility there. Kind of surprised he wasn't there and ready to get that block point. It was a juicy one.
You got to smother that. Whew. Big dig there from Calvente. Beatty tracks it down. Free ball coming, and Matadors reset. But Sean Dennis does not let it come over easily. Gets them another free ball. Kala with a tip over the top, a little off speed, and man, that was about a 3% swing. Just ekes that over the top.
Kala showing his range and vision that time. We haven't said his name a lot offensively for the Stingers, which is a bit surprising considering his presence on the court and his offensive prowess, but that time able to score the point in transition with that cheeky little tip over the block, Nick?
Yeah, love to see it. Now the big attack, Beatty swings off the block, but back row attack, and that's gonna be the Stingers train rolling on.
That's a big point, big break.
Russ Holmes didn't quite see it.
Russ Holmes thought he got used off the block, but his team got the point, so.
Elder to the outside, Montez hammers that through the double. Holmes a tad late and not yet over the net. Count yourself lucky, Jimmy. That's certainly not one that happens too often.
Exactly. Thank your lucky stars. You were able to get the ball down between Russ Holmes and the net on that side.
Yeah.
Take that to Vegas or the track for a couple of bets.
Yeah. Massetti gets the better of the serve receive from Clark. Tight. Matt, there's just, it's so sloppy, and it's both teams decide to do it at the same time. Tough pass from Clark. It's a one-handed free ball coming over from Holmes. And then a free ball that's so tight that there's no option but to try and just.
Maybe the coffee hasn't kicked in yet this morning. You know, it's Saturday. It's 10 o'clock local time, but yeah, just a couple of bad broken plays and poor execution on both sides.
If Elder was front row there, then he can throw it down, but having back row hands, he can't do anything else.
You know, Reed Chilton gives it right back to the Matadors after that service error. One of those errors you don't like to see when the serve goes right into the net. You're gonna miss long, try to make the team make a choice on whether or not they want to play it.
Vasquez goes for more control, and there's Russ Holmes, puts that one in his pocket. Great swing over the shoulder, a nice three-ball connection. Taking us to set point at 24-18. Stingers look very in control to finish this one out. Gabor gets slowed down by Holmes. Clark can't be slowed down by anyone, and that's gonna do it. 25-18 final score, set number 2. That means we're gonna continue this here in the third. We'll be right back. Set 3 about to get back underway. I'm Nick England, joined by Matt Prosser, and we are here at the Pierce Sports Center in San Bernardino, California. The first match of 12 with a weekend jam-packed full of exciting volleyball coming your way. If you're just joining us, that means that you are coming in at a 1-1 split set count as the Inland Empire Matadors are battling it out with the Utah Stingers. So far, the Utah Stingers, a team that is 2-2 against the Matadors 1-3. So both of these teams critically needing a win here. Matt, we've seen a little bit of up and down kind of trades going. What's your takeaway that you want to see from the Stingers to improve and see if they can handle set 3?
Well, the Stingers did a great job responding to that set 1 loss. They replaced Russell Holmes and Mencia back into the court, who didn't play in this opener for the Stingers. So they were able to get some offense through the middle, which is what they needed. And meanwhile, for the Matadors, just kind of got blindsided by that response a little bit, falling down early 7-0, I think, in set number 1 or 7-1. And so the Stingers really setting that tone, and I would expect them to do a lot of the same here in set number 3. We talked about maybe just trying to rub the fog off the eyes here of that Saturday morning game.
Definitely the case. To hear a little more insight, throw it over the sideline. Noah, take it away.
Yeah, guys, I spoke to the Matador sideline, and they felt like they just had a couple slow side outs and were kind of letting the points tally up. And they felt like their defense was scrappy, but they weren't finishing plays up at the net. And over on the Stingers sidelines, it definitely seems like that rust was shaken off. They felt like their defense was much smoother and cleaner, and their block was much more present in that second set. Guys?
Couldn't agree with you more. The blocking adjustment, having Russ Holmes back up front was very, very noticeable. So Nick Ramos able to kind of float one into the corner, though, not the touch Clark was looking for. That's going to be 1-1.
Ramos's attack lacked a little bit of gas on that one, and perhaps threw the Stingers for a little bit of a loop, expecting a little bit more heat from Nick Ramos that time.
Ramos pass by Clark. Mencia tip, but picked up by Beatty. Middle in transition, Brett Massetti, there it is. A quick return to set number 1 form. Establish your middles early and let them swing away.
Yeah, something the Matadors did not utilize very much in set number 2. But now in transition, that's a great time to run quick, and that's exactly what Massetti gets.
Ramos on a low toss, a little tries to speed it up, gets behind that ball and launches it. Ramos with a low pass. Vanderbeek is the option, and Vanderbeek is the answer. Paul Clark not up to the task of slowing down number 17.
Well, instantly you can see the change in urgency on the Matadors side. They've started out set number 3, other than their 2 service errors, much like they did set number 1, and the Stingers are now trying to mitigate this response from the Matadors.
Paul Clark adds a little punch, but sends that one over. Massetti gets the float serve going just the way he wants, and Beatty doing a nice job to clean that one up.
Yeah, the passing has continued to be a bit of a contentious point for the Stingers. Time the overpass from Paul Clark.
Oh, there it is. Clark answers back down the line. Vanderbeek leaves a little bit too much there, I think, and anytime that the outside is able to kind of swing that line angle or the Langle swing there, it's really going to be hard to set up defensively to adjust that. So you've got to take that block to the pin a little bit more.
Yeah, Paul Clark did a nice job sort of hiding it with that no-look line swing.
Nice dig by Kala. Clark in transition, now dug by Ramos. Beatty able to keep that one alive. Chilton, though, not bettering the ball at all. Vasquez to the middle. Gabor shut down by Sean Dennis with a wonderful commit block to take away power angle.
Well, that was a bit obvious, and Sean Dennis read it like a book. The 6'11" middle blocker standing there waiting for it, gets that block point.
Float gets the overpass. Holmes receives it. Back to Mencia, and Mencia tacks the line. A good reversal on the court there by Chilton, going side to side. Nice free ball pass, control there by Russ Holmes as well.
That is something that the Stingers have to do if they want to win this match, is take care of the free ball pass.
Vanderbeek goes a chop over the top, recognizes that he's got a back row middle. No libero means less defense than you would like to see for the Stingers, so good recognition by number 17.
The defensive systems from both teams need to be reevaluated a little bit. Make sure the players on the right side and get your players to hit the floor and try to dig the ball.
Baugh throws it tight, punched over. Hands got pulled on the block there from the side of the Matadors.
Eric Beatty that time opting to not put up the three-man block and then not playing that tip over the block with the ball and expecting his libero to get it, which his libero didn't pick it up. So
yeah, he said right away, yeah, it's my bad. Yep. And you know, it's one of those things, either one of them is fine, but one of them has to go. Vanderbeek dug by Kala. Mincy is the answer on the D ball, thrown down, but covers himself. Now Clark in transition. Vanderbeek tracks it down. Fox is going to take second ball. Beatty gets behind it, put two behind it. No touch on the block, sends that one.
Going to see a challenge here, I think, from the Matadors on a center line violation, but I don't think that's
that's not a challengeable infraction, so they're not going to be able to get it there. But all the same, they're basically then letting the refs know loud and clear, hey man, he's way under the net. You're missing that call, at least in their opinion. Abysmal serving attempt there from Mincy. I don't have any polite way to
the cliche
phrase
the
that
ball
one.
Never lies, but that was not a very good service attempt. You're right, from Jorge Mencia that time.
Nice serve from Beatty. Clark's got to keep this one alive, but Gabor with a defensive stop. Ramos hammers it. There it is. A little bit of a nice system swing off the outside hand there, utilizing the smaller blocker in Chilton. Very wise swing indeed. Free ball coming, taken by Calvente. And Ben Gabor in transition. That was a fantastic set. Good little 8-foot off connection there from Vasquez to Gabor.
Yeah, and right now the Matadors putting some pressure on from the inline, resulting in some Stinger mediocre passes and not able to run quick. So back and forth action here, Nick.
The Beatty service pressure continues. Calvente not able to handle the heat though. We haven't really talked about it, but the Matadors running a 2 libero system, meaning that Eric Belez or Eric Fox playing in the serve-receive selection there. So when the Matadors are receiving, he'll be in, and when they're serving, you'll see Daniel Calvente in there. So utilizing both of their liberos, one of the few teams to do so, and that's exactly why Fox is on the court. Wonderful read on that, gets his team another opportunity, and a bit of a spark there from number 12.
The Matadors have done a nice job responding here in set number 3 to start us off, clinging to that 1-point advantage, putting on pressure from the inline, resulting in some opportunities to score points in transition, and putting the Stingers in a bit of trouble.
Gabor, that barely cleared the tape by less than 3 inches, and just catches Clark up high, sends that one off into the stands. Wow, that was a great serve.
That was a great serve, and Ben Gabor's done a nice job applying that service pressure from the inline with this little jump float hybrid that barely makes it over the tape.
Ooh, Kala opens up a 4-4, able to beat that inside the block.
And that is what Kala can do for the Stingers. He has that sharp angle available, his range on a world-class level, and he does it that time for the Stingers.
Beatty with a perfect pass. Nick Ramos misses the opportunity, but Vasquez misses that connection. That set was dying on Nick Ramos out of the pin there. Not a lot of options. Dennis missing that one wide by about a foot, but a nice little run all the same. Able to get the Stingers tied up during that run. Now a 1-point lead established for the Matadors.
Nick Ramos has done a nice job passing for the Matadors. If you're asking why did Sean Dennis miss that serve after going at the libero, it's because Ramos has come in and done a nice job passing.
Russ Holmes deflected back. The double block of Massetti and a great bit of help there from Ramos. Shout out to Nick Ramos. You made a great point there that his passing's been good, but I think he's been a pretty steadying factor for this team, and they really needed that. So
very much so. I was pretty surprised to see that he didn't get the start after putting up some good numbers for the Untouchables last season and then coming over to the Matadors now.
Nice little gator dig there. Vanderbeek swings high off the block. Outside in transition, dug once again by Vasquez. Another opportunity. This one's off the net. Swing is managed, but managed very poorly. That's a nice break there for the Matadors. Eric Beatty with a little gator back there. Pick
Gator sighting here on a Saturday morning in San Bernardino, but yeah, nice discipline for the Matadors to win that longer rally.
Bumps that option. Kala swings that one through the triple block of the Matadors. I do like that adjustment, though, from Vasquez after having 5 service errors so far. Going to that float serve there, and a very aggressive one at that. I think that's a great option for him to, you know, get a couple more service line attempts. Reed Chilton has been quite successful so far with his jump serve. See if he's able to generate a little bit more. But nothing except for Russ Holmes. Number 12 getting very comfy, bouncing balls so far here.
And a little extra
great kill.
Animation from Russ Holmes, who's been a very poker-faced middle attacker throughout his career, letting out a little frustration after that attack.
That's when you can see him getting animated, is when he has expectations that are not really being met, and when he's determined to kind of help fix them himself. Ramos answers back in kind, though. A nice set back from Vasquez.
Ramos with great vision, seeing Kala's block go into the angle, exposing his left forearm, and Ramos takes full advantage of it that time.
Good pass means good set to the middle. Russ Holmes feels unstoppable right now.
Well, if I'm Russ Holmes, I'm telling his setter Chilton to set him every single chance he has until they stop him, which is highly unlikely that they'll get another stop on Russ Holmes, a former Olympian world-class middle blocker. Advantage for the Stingers.
Beatty now, both sides answering back. It's an amazing thing when you pass the ball, how easily you can start to create a bit of a system and a flow and a state of game that you can play your offense through. Both teams doing that now. See if that can continue. Catching a nap right there. That's going to be a technical timeout at 16-13, 3 points. Matadors showing signs of life. Come back with us in 1 minute here as we get back into the action. Back into the action. We are seeing a little bit of signs of life from both teams, but the big thing, Matt, we've got to see is, can they just pass a ball? The reception's just been so rough.
Passing has been rough for both sides throughout this match so far, and credit to the service pressure from both teams as well, but even the free ball passing has not quite been on point, and that's something that both teams really need to tighten up to play a little bit better brand of volleyball from both sides.
Yeah, and I feel like it's uncharacteristic, too, when I look at the track records of both of these teams. That's not generally things that you have to talk about much, is their serve receive, their free ball down, free ball down ball control. So, we'll see. Some quick medical attention. Looks like Vanderbeek might have been cut open. So NVA trainer Panos heading out and take care of him, get him all wrapped up. So a small medical timeout here. Taking a quick look at the numbers, we've been talking about how impactful Russ Holmes has been thus far. And Holmes, so far, 6 kills on 7 attempts, if I'm not mistaken. I only have the updated stats as of the end of the second set, where he was 4 of 5, swinging 80%. Sean Dennis, 4 of 6. So the very obvious answer here is get the middle involved. On the side of the Matadors, when we take a quick look up there, Ben Gabor, 6 of 12, swinging at 50%. And Brett Massetti, 3 of 5, so 60%. So every single middle contributing at a ridiculously high percentage, 50% or higher. But we have seen the addition of Russ Holmes coming back for the Stingers has certainly slowed Ben Gabor down quite a bit. So that's a good adjustment there from the Stingers. And we'll see how that continues to unfold as we're about to get back into the action here. Brett Massetti to serve. Big swing, though, and that's answered back from George Mencia. Oh. Fox takes that one. Back set, and that's going to go off the end.
A net violation being called on the Stingers blocker there, Paul Clark, that time.
Interesting. So, ball was called to have hit the antenna. However, a net violation was called. Net violation will supersede that. And that's going to be a point for the Matadors. So the Matadors train rolls on. We're still seeing some misconnections from Vasquez. The tempo seems good on his sets, but he's kind of launching those balls past the antenna and making his hitters, Beatty and Vanderbeek, have had to adjust quite a bit. So see if he can shore that one up. But Mencia not stoppable on the side, getting another kill there.
Yeah, Mencia maybe unleashing a little frustration on that right side attack, as he hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities right in his window, but takes care of it that time.
George Mencia is having a tough one, finding some serving momentum. Beatty so far with about 8 serving attempts and no errors, so he's been doing a good job generating just good, consistent service pressure. Mencia tries to tip, but defended by Gabor. Dennis swings a little out of system and now gets Gabor involved, but another block slows him down, but he can't be slowed down forever, or can he? Now he chisels it off, and finally, third time's the charm. Sean Dennis having a great couple block touches against Gabor there, but Gabor able to finally punch that one through and earns it on his 3rd attempt of the rally.
Bit unconventional, but still effective.
Regardless, I love their willingness to continue finding involvement for him. Nice serve by Beatty. The only option is the outside. Calvente there to clean that one up. And Beatty tips that one short, taken by Baugh. Mencia hammers it. Vanderbeek lays out, but not able to find it.
That's a big point for the Stinger side as they've played most of this third set at a disadvantage behind on the scoreboard, and now only within 3 points. Trying to find themselves here in set number 3.
Yeah, and on the back of George Mencia and Russ Holmes, it feels like those two guys are the answer that you're looking for. Good pass by Fox. Missed connection there. Again, I will so happily take that error, that misconnection, compared to some of the other ones that we've seen. Going to the middle, off a good pass.
Well, it's a rare time to run a back one. We haven't seen him run a back one all match long, and to do it at that point of this game, it was a good set, but keep going with what works.
Ramos low pass, he's the set option, wipes it off and gets, you know, he manages his own subpar pass there, but if you're going to give the pass, at least he bails out. I like to see that from him on the outside.
Well, the give and go from Ramos, yeah, betters the ball and is able to find that open court for the point. Gives the Matadors back to that 3-point advantage here.
Gabor sends his float long. You know, something we talk about in terms of serving responsibility, serving progression, you want your guys like Eric Beatty to go back there and have the ability to just hammer jump serves and, you know, create that pressure. If you're the float servers, your job is to put consistent, good pressure on your float serves, and I think that both sides are kind of missing that right now from their float servers. Mencia has been struggling as well. Nice bump set to the middle. Massetti makes himself option available, and Sean Dennis misses the dig there.
Yeah, that's a point that the Stingers really want to get back, is Sean Dennis in the right spot. The ball literally hitting both of his hands, but just not able to get that ball up and a chance in transition.
Russ Holmes sends it home. Nice cut back there over the shoulder. Vasquez nowhere to be seen.
Russell Holmes showing off his range. Going cross body back to area 1 with that point. Nice, technically perfect attack from Russ Holmes.
Ramos misses the connection on that one, sends it long. And it feels like the Matadors are foot off the gas as the Stingers, now down by just 1, find themselves right back into this match at 21-20 Matadors.
Well, the overhead connection for the Matadors still continuing to be a bit of a question mark. Haven't found that consistency, but Massetti answers right back with that quick attack through the middle.
It's so funny coming into this match. You know, Russ Holmes, as he has continued aging out of, you know, where we just saw that explosive Olympian, you just see the intelligence and, you know, he finds ways to score, but you don't see a lot of the just bounce swings anymore. And I would say Brett Massetti is a lot of the same. So seeing both of these guys just taking blows and just thumping balls back and forth, it's an awesome sight to see. I love to see both of them just continuing to get after it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a former middle blocker myself, Nick, I love seeing two teams that want to run a lot of their offense through the middle, as we're seeing right now.
Huge swing from Clark, someone that has struggled thus far to find a little bit of consistency. You know, when he's not passing well, he starts getting a lot of kills. When he's not finding success up front, maybe he's passing better. So see if he can even that out. But that's a big swing, gets him a little amped up. See if he's able to transition that into a couple more points here.
That ball's got to get picked up from the Stingers. A completely broken play from the Matador side. Somebody on the Stingers other than Reed Chilton, who was deep down the line for defense, has got to make a move for that ball.
Yeah, it's all about recognition. The elbow dropped there from Eric Beatty. That means that's not going to be a full swing. Like you said, someone from the cross court's got to step in there and find that dig. Tight pass, middle connection is not quite there, but Chandler Baugh saves it, keeps it alive. Vanderbeek is the backside option now. Baugh once again making a heroic effort to save that ball. Easy reset. Matadors go to Beatty in transition. Dug by Clark. Clark is the option, and he uses the hand of Vanderbeek. Wow, Chandler Baugh, the man of the point right there. Huge save to keep it alive after the misconnection to Holmes in the middle.
Yeah, what a play from Chandler Baugh, really saving his squad that time and giving his team a chance to get the point. Seeing a challenge called now from the Matadors side. Trying to get some
Interesting. I'd be
clarification
curious
on
what it was
the
that they were
challenge is.
challenging exactly. Getting a little insight
So the
here.
net violation is being challenged here.
Yeah, Matt, it looks like they're challenging a net touch somewhere in that rally. I'm not sure what player or what point, but the Matadors team seems to be convinced there was a net touch at some point during that last rally.
So hopefully they have, I think they probably know when it was, so they'll give a little direction and we'll take a look at that one. We have 2 cameras on the net, so they're going to be able to provide some great visibility there and let us see exactly what happened.
This is one of those instances when the challenge is called, you have to be specifically on point as to which part of the play there was the net violation and which player as well. You can't just say, well, there was a net violation and then make the referees look through the entire rally for one possible net violation.
Yeah,
it has to be on a specific player at a specific point of that rally to call that net violation off.
Yeah, and that it's a great point because otherwise we would be quite a bit of time digging through here. So on a long rally like that, that kind of prevents teams from just calling a random, oh, there was a net somewhere.
Right.
So
and I don't recall seeing a net. We've got pretty good seats here to see where the possible net violation could have occurred, but I personally did not see a net violation on that rally, especially on the Stinger side. So we'll see how this challenge works out for the Matadors.
And the Matadors seem to believe it was on an outside swing somewhere in that rally when there were some crazy digs by the Stinger libero. They think, again, somewhere on the outside close to the pin, there was a net touch there.
Thanks, Noah.
So that looks like, oh no, I thought there was a verdict rendered. Still taking a look at it up top. So the real importance here, though, so the Matadors have already called one challenge. They won that, meaning they still have all 3 of their challenges. So at 23-23, even if this just slows the game down, it's like kind of a timeout, like you said earlier, that's not necessarily a bad usage, but there is a big upside. If they're able to win this to go 24-22, this is exactly when you should be challenging calls. So.
Yeah, well, you got to be pretty certain that there was a net violation to use a challenge right now at this point of this set because it could work against you as well because you're theoretically icing your own guys.
Very well could be. There's a bit of the up and down. There's a monitor court side that's providing a little bit of insight right now that the guys are getting some camera views. And that looks like it's going to be called. A great challenge once again for the Matadors.
Wow.
2 for 2.
Wait a minute. Hold on now. Hold on. We have a missed call from the down ref.
It seems like the down ref motioned the wrong way, and the call is staying with the Stingers.
Call went the wrong direction.
Lots of dramatics there.
Yeah, making that as dramatic as possible. Stingers will keep that one, no net called. 23-23 back into the action here. Russ Holmes targeting Ramos, gets the overpass, and there it is. I talked earlier about the presence of Sean Dennis on the net. A little quick two-handed to jam, and that's going to be set point here. The Stingers looking to come back and steal one.
Well, the service pressure could not have come at a better time from the veteran Russ Holmes like we've talked about. You can't really ice Russ Holmes. It's been around volleyball way too long to just stand around and then miss his serve, and that time gets the overpass.
Can he do it one more time? Jimmy Montez subbed in for Ramos. Fox with a perfect pass to the outside, Beatty, and that's going to be blocked back. You talked earlier about the experience of George Mencia, number 9. Mency gets it done, and that's going to do it here in set number 3. Stingers take the lead 2-1. Heading into the 4th set, we'll be right back. And the Utah Stingers look to finish this off potentially in 4 sets with a 2-1 set lead. If you're just joining us, the Swarm waking up quite a bit here as they answered back in the 3rd set from a 4-point deficit there to overcome the charging Bulls of the Matadors. And, you know, the Matadors just riding the roller coaster of inconsistency right now. See what they're able to do. And they start Jimmy Montez here over Nick Ramos. Looking for another answer. The outside is a bit of a revolving door over there.
It has been a little bit for the Matadors, and we've seen several players in that spot. But credit to the Stingers battling back from that 4-point deficit. Finished off by that nice block by Mencia on the right side on Eric Beatty. So very interesting to see how the Matadors will now respond, being down 1-2 here in the set count as we start at set number 4.
Chilton targets Montez. Montez the only settable option. Well, that's no problem for him. Mencia gives a free ball. Massetti goes for a zone 4 tip, but leaves it really short in zone 2 on his side. Doesn't quite find what he's looking for.
Well, unfortunately for the Matadors, they have not been able to replay how they started set number 1 in this match, and that is not a good way to start set number 4 here as well.
Chilton getting an aggressive attack, and there's the sure-handed Mencia. The right hand gets out there and shuts that one down real quick.
That set just a little bit too tight for Montez to deal with as Mencia made a nice move, got that right hand over the net like you're talking about, and Mencia with a couple extra words over for Vasquez is to maybe say, don't set my direction anymore.
Yeah. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mencia, coming in at 32 years old, or 33, has now been a pro volleyball player longer than he has not been. So there's a fun one for you. In terms of experience, this guy has been playing professionally for 14 or 15 years now. Or sorry, 16 or 17, just right past that doubled his age mark. So it's there's a lot of time spent on the court.
Now, Mencia at a young 33, I was going to say he was getting a little bit closer to the 40 age, but that's sort of just how he walks around the court.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, we thought he was a bit older from that last time we were checking out the ages, and he was right around that 32, 33. And yeah. I think it's just surprising because I look at his resume, and you assume he has to be older because of it, and I realized how young he started.
Yes.
And that's what was really quite surprising to me, but only a little bit more surprising than the amount of standing float serves getting missed. Roll shot over the top. Russ Holmes, very effective server right at the end of that 3rd set when it mattered most, but a good pass, and Massetti now finds the left hand of Holmes outstretched.
Well, nice awareness from the Matadors and Massetti to realize that Holmes is in the back row at left back, and even though he had Sean Dennis in front of him, still able to get it past the block and down for that point.
Big swing. I couldn't see that. Did Gabor even get that one?
Oh, he got all of it.
Okay, I had
with his own little stuff down on Sean Dennis that time.
Return to sender. He's been waiting for that opportunity to get back. Unfortunately, I had the camera right in my face for that one.
No one wants to hear your excuses, Nick.
You know, I don't blame him. And no one wants to hear those excuses either. Brett Massetti scoring his 2nd or 3rd ace of the match. I've got to say, the middles from the Matadors have impressed me this entire match.
They very much so, yeah. They started out really well, and a little bit of lull in the offensive action, but now starting to pick it up on their block and defense.
Sean Dennis not saying, wanting to see that block for the 2nd time, swings back in his own 1 over the top of the block there. Good hand pass, backside option. Vanderbeek shut down, and now Paul Clark. Both teams trading terminal blocks back and forth. Started with Mency, goes to Gabor, now Paul Clark getting involved.
Yeah, the Stinger block and defense starting to fire up. And that time, Paul Clark getting his first stuff down in the match.
Beatty blocked, picked up, unable to be corralled back. Beatty's been getting terminal blocked a bit this match. We saw that some too last event. He had very good output, but he's kind of he's going to end the point on his terms kind of guy.
I think Beatty needs a little bit of a higher set and a little bit more off the net.
Yeah.
Bit of a trap set that time.
Vanderbeek gets the recycle. Gabor's going to take second ball. Beatty hammers that one through the tape. And now Clark swings into the angle, but easy dig for Fox. Off speed, picked up by Mency. Misconnection, Clark looks for the chip. No one home, doesn't find the touch he wants.
Well, that's frustrating for the Stingers side as they had an opportunity to win that rally, and unfortunately the timing between Chilton and Clark just not there in transition, and then attack not clearing the net.
Yeah, Clark a little looking for a very quick tempo set, but cross court, you got to wait a little bit longer. Mency gets a great set and a great swing. Good connection there now from Chilton and Mency. Eight to 6, Stingers with a 2-point lead early. Matadors have got to get on top of this now before it gets away from them.
Yeah, they do need to get a side out and see if they can score some of their own points here, or else this one might go to the Stingers pretty quickly.
Nice pass from Montez, but that one's going to be blocked back into him. Double block there from Kala and Dennis.
Now that's a very nice help block from Kala that time, as he realized that the setter was front row, stayed in his vision, and then saw the set attempt go to the middle and helped out on that block.
Clark misses that one, but at least he was able to generate a little pressure. Got one in that first time, so it was a good look for him. Beatty now been a consistent server. See if he's able to generate some more of that pressure. Chandler Baugh ready for it this time, and Mency goes back. D-ball once again. Jimmy Montez doesn't even jump. Couldn't tell you why, but Mency says, thanks.
Yeah.
Not sure what you're thinking there.
Yeah, that's a big breakdown on the block and defense that time for the Matadors, as Montez has to respect Mencia on the right side, and there was no Matador blocker in front of him that time.
Montez is the target once again. Vanderbeek D-ball. Sean Dennis not able to handle the heat.
Glimpses of solid volleyball from Vanderbeek and the Matadors, but that swing nice down the line against the flow to score that point. They have to be able to put it all together though here if they want to win this set and force a tiebreaker.
Paula now swings that one off of the block of Vasquez, able to secure a point once again for the Stingers. There's an ace. Reed Chilton, the shining star so far on the Stingers service line, able to get an ace there down the zone. 5-6 seam. Catches Montez and Beatty the outside staring.
Now that's one of those situations that the Matadors may want to utilize a four-man pass, or serve reception system.
Stingers are more than happy to trade aces followed up by missed serves at this point, though, with a 4-point lead. That's kind of the cushion that you've granted yourself with a couple points well earned.
Yeah, it is a nice advantage to have 3-4 points in your pocket, especially after a side out.
Great pass by Baugh. Means an inside set to Mency, but Beatty's sitting on top of that one, and he gets the big attack. But Russ Holmes says, take it back. Here's the first-class stamp. I don't want any of that over on my side of the court.
Well, the Stingers' offense system there misconnected, but Russ Holmes showing the discipline, not biting on the quick attack and blocking that big attack from Beatty that time.
Misconnection to Massetti. Errors starting to litter the Matadors side and causing some issues. And there's going to be a setter swap here. That means Colby Elder coming in to see if he can right the sinking ship. Elder first set, finds a nice connection over to Beatty. Really like that connection off of the left shoulder of the middle there. That's going to do a much better job of getting Russ Holmes to not be able to block both the middle and the big attack. So good setter adjustment right away.
Right away, good vision and good awareness by the Matadors that time. Jordan Wally coming into the game now for Montez. Stingers have built up a 5-point advantage as we're now just 1 point away. Russell Holmes with a nice serve.
Elder back to Vanderbeek, covered, and it's got to go. Beatty sends it. One-handed set to Sean Dennis, who's there for the answer. I don't know that that was even a setter. Chilton was just hitting the ball at Sean Dennis, but Sean ready for it. Wow, technical timeout. That's going to take us 16-10, and we're going to throw it over to the sideline here. Noah's with one of the fan clubs for the Stingers. Noah, take it away.
Yeah, guys, I'm here with the Reed Chilton fan club. I've got Audrey, Evan, Luke, and Nate. And, guys, how cool is it for you to watch your dad out there play professional volleyball? I'll start with you.
It's really cool.
How about for you guys?
It's cool, and yeah.
It's super cool. And what's your favorite thing about watching your dad play?
Probably just seeing him play. It's really fun to watch him.
If you could say one thing to your dad while he's out there, what would you tell him?
Good job.
Good job. And is he going to pull out this win, you think?
Yes.
Can we get a Let's Go Stingers?
Let's go.
Yes, let's go Steelers.
The #1 fan club. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Oh, that's the great part, seeing the family involved. A lot of support, and I don't know how well the stream can hear it, but they have been absolutely rowdy out there, slamming their feet and cheering for the Stingers all morning long.
That's
they
awesome.
wasted no time for the sugar from the Cocoa Puffs to get the kids loud and rowdy today. So love to see their support for their dad, playing a phenomenal match so far.
I think
Russ
their
Holmes
dad could
misses
have
that
used a
float
little bit
serve.
of that energy in set #1 from his kids.
Mency is the option, and with good reason. He is absolutely unstoppable right now. Quick substitution was made. Montez replaced by Jordan Wally, who hasn't seen court since early in the second set. Matadors seeing if they're able to find any semblance of control in this match, down by 6 points. This might be the Stingers putting the kibosh on this one. Beatty dug by Kala. Inside bump set, not going anywhere useful. Wally tips it over the top. Mincy sends that one, and that's going to be net by Beatty. Chilton once again with the discipline. Mincy with a float. Vanderbeek, nice, useful wipe there. Sends it off the outside hand of Clark. right after this, after this match at noon, we'll be right back with potentially one of the most exciting matches of the weekend. That's going to be the undefeated Texas Tyrants taking on the undefeated New Jersey Freedom. So that'll be a great match starting at noon Pacific. So if you haven't already, be sure to tune in at that time. There is once again the one-handed set that goes to the middle. Sean Dennis giving the option.
Yeah, not very often you see it this many times in one match, but maybe just like 2-3 times. But I feel like that's probably number 6 or 7 throughout this match from both sides.
I was going to
really
say,
displaying their athleticism.
The alacrity to make the point when you did. It's only been proven true over and over again. So love to hear that point early. It's like you've played that position before.
A little bit, just sometimes here and there.
Cougar Clark leaves that one short, just the top of the tape. Bob puts that one high, gives Kala an opportunity. That point right there is exactly what I want to see more of from out of system. Ba aired that one out, not a perfect pass, but he's high and on the 10-foot line, so they get a chance to just run a comfortable offense.
Yeah.
I feel like so much of the out of system volleyball has been fast, low balls that no one's bettering the ball throughout the rally.
Yeah, sometimes in those situations you do have to better the ball, like you said. Give your teammate a chance to get his feet to the ball, and especially if it's an out of system, that's exactly what it should be. Fix it, better the ball, give yourself a chance to get that swing in transition or inside out, regardless of where that pass goes.
Yeah, we'll see if it's able to continue. Substitution now undone. Interesting that they're doing it at this point. I think Colby Elder was doing a good job as a replacement there, but seeing if Vasquez can come back in and make some changes happen. Another high ball out of system. Kala has to roll that one over. Pancake is good. Beatty hammers that one home, knocking the line judge's flag out of his hands. But that's going to be a kill all the same. Beatty doing a good job off of the pancake there from Jacob Vanderbeek. Says the kitchen's open and pancakes are hot and ready. A little bit of a question right now if they're able to challenge if the ball was down on the court. I don't know if they're unable to or did not choose to, but no challenge. Discussion right now. Yep, that's going to be over. They called 4?
They called a back row violation that time on
Yeah, there was a back row violation for sure. Miscommunication, there it is. Okay, clarified. But a back row attack. A little bit of a conversation here, Matt. We had a front row seat. This one looked like a pretty clear over, I would say, from where we were.
Yeah, not sure what the extra conversation is really warranting for the Stinger side, but there was an over violation by Mencia on that back row attack.
Gabor misses that serve after a massive conversation. Chilton leaves that one short. Well,
Battle
I
of
certainly
service
hope
errors
that,
at the moment, Nick.
What was that?
Battle of service errors.
Yeah, I certainly hope that Freedom and Tyrants are ready to pick that energy up a little bit. This one's just been in kind of an error-riddled match. so it continues.
Well, for the Stingers now just 3 points away from winning this match after losing set number 1, but could help their cause if he makes his serve here.
Wally with a high swing off the hands. Chilton brings it back. Russ Holmes, a heroic track down, and Mency now swings high, wide, no touch. That's a point for the Matadors. A great team effort from the Stingers to give that a little bit of second life. But the Matadors swing from number 8, Jordan Wally, not able to be brought back to life. 4 points now. There's some time if the Matadors are able to clean this up, but if the last bit of this match has been any indication of what's to come, the missed serve is par for the course.
You have to put the serve in. It's business end of set number 4, and you're down by several points. Gotta give yourself a chance here, and sometimes going for the ace doesn't always get it done.
Set to the middle.
Oh.
Massetti shut down by Sean Dennis.
Sean Dennis read that one the whole way. I think the whole gym knew that Vasquez was going to go quick, and Sean Dennis with a stuffing on Brett Massetti that time.
High ball out, Beatty, see if he can manage, but he only manages to get blocked once again, and that's all she wrote. Utah Stingers answer back after dropping the first set to taking 3 straight, winning it here in 4. Final score 25-18. That's gonna do it. Matt, a good win for the Stingers, going 3-2 there.
Yeah, a good solid win by the Stingers, even though that first set, didn't really work out the way that they were hoping. Wasn't a great start, but they made some nice adjustments, right? Obviously inserting Russell Holmes and Mencia into the match in set number 2 was really the difference maker for the Stingers.
Yeah, it certainly was. Now, we saw the Stingers just kind of inconsistent to start. They made some adjustments to the personnel there in the second set. I think it was pretty clear cut that once Mencia and Holmes got on the court, things started trending their way. George Mencia was a massive part of the turnaround with the block. But I think the most important was clearly Russ Holmes.
For sure, yeah. I mean, those two guys are huge role players for the Stingers no matter what, and they're very veteran, very seasoned, and they do offer a lot of opportunities and offense for the Stingers, which they lacked in set number 1.
It's going to be we've seen the Stingers kind of battling with shorthanded rosters all year long. That's a good win, though. They needed that one, really, after they're getting so much pressure put on them with the Dallas Tornadoes kind of knocking at that door for the first place automatic bid out of their conference.
Yeah.
So really an important win here, and we'll see if they're able to get one more, but we're going to have it thrown over to the sideline man of the match. Noah, take it away.
The man of the match, you may have heard of him, Russell Holmes. Russell, you came in and had an immediate impact on the game and on the blocking scheme. What changes when you're on the court?
I think just communication. I like to be really involved in speaking with my pin blockers and just orchestrating the block and defense. And so I think that communication just gives a lot of guys confidence and stuff. And so it's something we try and implement a lot. Having our libero do the same. Being really communicative on just taking seams and reception and things like that. So I think just that alone, I think helps a little bit. So yeah.
And you and Mency didn't start game 1. What was the reasoning for that lineup decision?
He got in a little late. Wanted to give him some rest. We have an important match tomorrow against Team Freedom, and so, yeah, just the thought was just to kind of give him some rest and kind of wake up a little bit. It's an early match before we get him going. So, yeah.
And you're normally pretty cool, calm, and collected, but there were a couple swings after you bounced the ball that you were staring through the net and kind of letting your emotions run free. What got you going?
I just want to bring good energy with our team, and so, yeah, just trying to get hyped with them and bring that positive, just fire and everything like that. So I know that's what we try and do as a team, is just keep giving that positive energy back to each other. So every play, but yeah, it was fun. Yeah, always fun to get on the court. So.
Well, it's definitely fun to watch you. Congratulations, another tough match tomorrow. I'll let you get some rest.
Yeah.
Guys, our man of the match, Russ Holmes.
Thanks so much. Great to hear very rare and very difficult to see a middle make an immediate impact in the way that Russ Holmes did, but given the nature of a player with such pedigree, I don't think it's any surprise at all. But that's going to be a great win for the Stingers. 3-1 here as they take down the Inland Empire Matadors. Up next at noon Pacific Standard Time is going to be the New Jersey Freedom taking on the Texas Tyrants in what could be the match of the weekend. 2 undefeated teams, 4-0. That means only one Titan will emerge with 5-0, a perfect record, and be the last one standing in the NVA. I'm Nick England. We'll be right back here in just an hour's time. Don't miss out. We'll see you then.